Hey everybody, it's Anna J. Walner with the Author Library, and we're back with the second part of the Book Talk Takeover segment with three new book talkers. Guys, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Well, I'll start. My name is Dina. I was in the last segment too. Hoover la Livre is my TikTok handle. Been on TikTok since probably last summer sometime. Started making videos in September of last year. I primarily read fantasy, YA, romance novels. I love a good slow burn in terms of tropes. Yeah. What else did we say we were going to say? That's what we're going to say.
Current read.
Current read. Thanks, Anna. Current read. I've got a few arcs going right now. I'm reading Siege and Storm by Lee Berdugo. I also have hoping to start soon Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas.
Yeah, me too.
You too? Yes.
I want to read it so bad.
I'm gonna do audiobook on it.
Yeah.
And I am all about the different ways of reading. So audiobook, ebook, paper copy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it could just go in my brain, I'd sign up.
I can go next. So I'm Deanne. Dreaming in Bookland is my TikTok handle. I have been on there since I think I found BookTok around January-ish, and actually made my first video in March because I was inspired by Dina. She finally convinced me to make my own videos. I primarily read fantasy, YA, anything generally YA. I also read historical fiction, romance, and one of my favorite tropes is probably the one bed trope. I also like enemies to lovers.
Yes.
And I also read like multiple different ways. So I'm listening to The Poppy War on audiobook. That's one of my current books. I'm reading All Your Perfects, just paper copy. And then I am reading a couple of ebooks as well, but I can't remember which ones I'm reading right now. And I'm also reading The Martian by Andy Weir because I like sci-fi as well. So a couple books going at the same time.
You're a chaotic reader or a mood reader.
Very much so.
Reverse harem reader.
Oh yes, love a reverse harem. It's one of my favorites.
Swinger. How many different ways can we say that we read a ton of books at one time?
I think I've got like 7 books going right now.
Strong work.
I can go. Oh, you go ahead.
I'm Haley. My handle is The Page Sage. I think I found BookTok in December of last year because the pandemic and I had nothing to do and BookTok happened. I mostly read fantasy, both YA and adult. Sometimes there's some sci-fi. Sometimes I might be in the mood for a contemporary. It just depends. And I'm currently reading an arc of Cazadora by Romina Garber. It's the sequel to Lobizzona. So I'm in love with it. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm Jen. My BookTok handle is Jen Reads Books Slow, and I'm not ashamed of it. I am a slow reader. So it takes me a while to get through a book, but I absolutely love reading. I started BookTok in January. I had been on TikTok for like a year, I think, before I joined the club, joined the party. I was a stay-at-home mom of a now 2-year-old, and I just needed something for myself, and it brought me back to reading again, and I'm just so thankful for it. I am a huge enemies to lovers, especially if there's some fae or witches involved. I love fantasy, paranormal, romance. I am starting to get into some of the spicier romance, just dipping my toes into that, and I'm really enjoying it. Ice Planet Barbarians are, woo, man, I'm love that.
You have to fall down the blue rabbit hole.
I'm reading, so I have always been a one at a time book reader until I met all these amazing indie authors that I've discovered on BookTok. So I'm now reading, I think, 4 or 5 at a time. And I am very big on all different forms of reading. I am listening to Restless Slumber via audiobook, which is in the Fortuna Sworn series by KJ Sutton. She's an indie author. I have 2 arcs going. One of them is Dark Tides, which is a dark fairy tale story by J.J. Marshall. Larugo by A.J. Walner. I'm reading, let's see, what else do I have? Compulsive, which is, that's not an arc, but I'm reading that ebook by Leah Fairfield right now. So I think those are all I'm reading. But yeah, that's who I am.
Well, I mean, you guys just named, 25, 30 books. So, I mean, that's one thing that I try and get across to people is that BookTok is serious about their books, yo.
Yes.
So what has been one of the things that has surprised you in a pleasant way since you really started taking part in BookTok, in the BookTok community, not just about the community itself, but maybe some of the people that you've met that have inspired you, or some of the books that you have discovered that you never knew existed?
Well, the first BookToker that I ever interacted with was Joni, which is Read to Escape, who she is literally one of the most generous people I have ever met, not just with giving books, but also creating loyalties and really getting the word out with BookTokers who don't have a lot of followers yet. And she's not all about just your mainstream popular books. She's got all sorts of different books. She's helped me.
Begging her to come on.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Don't pressure her into coming on.
She also doesn't take anything. Like, she doesn't take any of the, any judgment or anything like that. She's like, this is how it should be. You guys knock it off. This is a happy community. This is a healthy community. Let's keep it that way. And I love that about her. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
I actually found some of my best friends through BookTok. I think it started with Kendra at Plants and Prose. She started doing like read with me lives every night, and that just turned into like this group of girls who we talk every day. I mean, we share everything. We've been on FaceTime for like 24 hours at a time. It's ridiculous. And I just love them with all my heart, and it's just been so awesome to meet these people that I never would have gotten the chance to meet if it weren't for BookTok.
I agree completely. Dina has become one of my best friends, and I very much appreciate just all the friends that I've made through BookTok. We talk about it being a community, but it really is. I mean, you meet these people because readers tend to be their own breed of people. And even within reading, there are so many different types of readers, people who read certain genres and are like, this is the only genre you should read. But what I like about BookTok is that everybody, for the most part, comes together and is like, hey, you like this genre? Tell me about it. Why do you like it? Maybe I'll start trying that, instead of it just being like this little clique of specific people. I feel like everybody kind of just comes together and really wants to get to know all the different types of readers. But it's just been this huge community thing for me where I finally feel like I found my tribe Very much so, where I feel welcomed and accepted for reading a ridiculous amount and loving books as much as I do. But definitely Dina inspired me a lot, and I'm so grateful for you, Dina. You've been an amazing friend, and I appreciate you.
You make me cry. Oh yeah. So when I started, yeah, Deanna's one of my close friends. Yeah, she's been there for me for her. Yeah, just an awesome friend. Yeah, I love you. When I first started, honestly, like one of the first, so Easy Cat, we gotta name Easy Cat.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta throw that man out there. He is awesome.
He won't.
What?
I don't.
Oh, I think he gets a lot of interaction. I think
On him or anything.
yeah. I don't know. But yeah, he was one of the first people I found. Him and Literary Libra. Which is she is awesome. Oh, I love her. She was actually her, and I'm gonna name Ryan because Ryan needs to be named. Sergeant Books. She was on the last one with us, but her and Literary Libra and then Ryan were two of the first people that I really followed and saw them doing videos and was like, "Could I make videos? Maybe I could make videos. I want to talk to people about books." And so yeah, some of those folks, and of course Ryan has become a good friend as well. I met a few other people like Glossamer. I wish Emily was on here with us.
I know.
She's such a sweetheart. But yeah, Glossamer Leia, she's awesome. Just so many good people. I mean, there's all those people too who they're just in my comments like every video, and I just love them whether they make content or not, and they're there and they're, it's just, yeah, it's the community, it's the relationship building.
So much support you see.
The people who are bold enough to send me a DM and they say, "I really hope I'm not bothering you," and I'm like,
I totally did that.
You totally did it. You totally did. And the reality is I really don't get that many DMs. So honestly, when somebody does a DM, I'm like, somebody DM'd. Yeah. I'm an extrovert. I love the interaction. So yeah, it's that community. It's that, that's how Deanne and I started talking too, is she DM'd me. And
Well, I gotta share my story with, so speaking of Literary Libra, Dina duetted a video with Literary Libra where she's talking about authors being cold. And
can I correct? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
It was Cece.
Cece, okay.
It was Cece Monroe.
No, but whose video did you duet?
It was Cece Monroe's video.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I saw that video and I was like, I'm gonna prove her. I've got to reach out to her. So I jumped into Dina's DMs and I was like, hey, hi. I write stuff. And
I'm writing something.
And you read stuff. And so can we talk? That was my first time ever being on TikTok, so I had no idea how the platform worked or anything. Now I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything else, as an author, and but TikTok I had never been on before, so I was like, how does this even work? How do I even interact with people? And so I just hopped into Dina's DMs, and thank God, she was just an awesome person, and she was like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And I still tell this story. I told it, I was on NBC radio the other night, and I was telling the story about this, crazy book talker that told me that I needed to put this book out, and that it was actually, that it didn't suck. And so I owe that whole thing to Dina for kicking my ass in gear.
I'm not
Good
gonna
job, Gina. You did it.
I'm not gonna cry. I'll say what I said too. What was it? It was, so I don't know who's read Cruel Prince series, which actually book 2 and book 3 are better.
Having it.
But the Cruel Prince, the first one was a real struggle for me. Holly Black, amazing writer. I don't want to in any way. But yeah, I said to Anna, I was like, this is better than that. Do this. This is better than that.
Arcane. And she got the very first rough draft of it. She was the first person to ever see that book with the original cover and no corrections. It hadn't even been to an editor yet. And I think I sent it to you in PDF. And you were like, do it. And
Do it.
And I did. And that's what this community is building up everybody, no matter whether or not they're an independent author, whether or not they're another book talker, whether or not they're somebody who has 10, 15 followers and 2 videos about books, or they're someone who has 10,000 followers. What are you now, at 11,000 something, Dina? Followers?
Almost. I've kind of slowed. I'm not cool.
But,
You're totally cool.
but no matter what, still boosting everybody up. And that's why Book Talk can be and has been such an awesome and amazing community. Because you guys just freaking rock.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of fun.
I mean, there's not very many opportunities in your lifetime that you can convince your husband that you need a crown. I mean, how often would you have that opportunity?
I know, right?
Not very often. I got mine here.
I still don't have a crown. I need
Oh
to
no!
fix that.
What?
Somebody is going to crown fairy you. I promise you by the end of day today.
Yeah, I don't.
Like 5 crowns.
Yeah, I still have not gotten one. And I'm like, one of these days I'm going to get myself a crown, and I still haven't done it. So I feel like if you're on Book Talk, you have to have a crown. It's just a thing.
It is a thing.
I
Things
love
slow
that,
down a
though.
little bit. I don't see them as often, but it's still there.
It is still there. I'm selective on what videos I put it in.
Yeah.
You know, just thinking about, does this enhance this? Or does it,
Am
or
I
does it
feeling
look like I'm like, huh. Like I don't necessarily wear it in my thirst traps. Let's put it that way.
On your blind react.
Like, do people
Yeah,
just
blind reacts, yeah.
They just send you like blind reacts in your DMs? Is that how that works?
I send them to Dina all the time. I'm like, Dina,
too.
blind react to
hear
this.
Blind react to this.
reactions.
And I will say I don't blind react to every single one. I might like start my video and then do the blind, and then I'll be like, okay, we're not doing that one.
Yeah.
You know, because I have, honestly, I will say this, because of some of the blind reacts, I've had my account flagged.
Oh yeah.
Pretty quickly. I do have, you know, I have an array of followers, and I've been trying to put warnings a little bit more. That's hard, but yeah, so that's what happens. People send me a video and say, hey, blind to this. And I'm like, okay, do it.
Let's do it.
See what we got.
That's
What are your
awesome.
favorite? What are your guys' favorite kinds of videos to make? Are they reviews? Are they your TBR videos? Your wrap-up videos? Or just those random ideas that come to you? I mean, like, what are your favorite things to do, Haley? Like, I love all your content because I just never know what I'm gonna get.
No, my content is so chaotic.
Love
And
it.
I feel like I should be doing more reviews, but by the time I get home every day, like I'm just so fried that I'm like, what if I make a 10-second video about enemies to lovers? Like, so that's just how my life happens. My life is pure chaos, and it definitely shows in my content.
I think that's legit though, Haley.
Yeah.
I think that's where I finally have done a couple reviews. It's been forever since I've done some reviews. I had such a reading slump in June that I'm still recovering from. So
Yeah.
I need to do one about the High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. Yes, I just finished it, and so I need to do the review on BookTok.
I can say without a doubt that is my all-time favorite book right now.
Everything I've heard is basically, Dina, you have to read that.
Yes.
It is my favorite book. I will have it tattooed on my body. So it will happen. I think book reviews are my favorite. They're my favorite video to make just because I love, especially if it's like a really good book, like you're just super passionate about it after you read it. And
You just want to share it.
Oh, you want to share it. And then when other book talkers start saying they're adding it to their wish list, they're adding it to their TBR, you're like, yes, like, please read it and spread the word because it's so great. Like, I just love that feeling. Awesome.
So what I guess what would you say to anybody that's wanting to get started in BookTok? I mean, other than just jump right in and
Oh, bring your
Go for
brand
it.
of weird. Just
Oh, we
do
love
it.
you.
Just do
Yeah.
it.
Be yourself. I think that's the thing that I struggled with for a while. Is I was trying to like emulate other people instead of just being my own brand of weird, like Dina said. I would watch videos by these people who would be able to do incredible reviews and just so concise and so well thought out. And I'm sitting here going, I liked it. I loved it.
That's exactly
And I say the same words over and over again sometimes. And I'm going, I sound like I'm on repeat sometimes because I'll say the same things, but I kept trying to emulate people who do these amazing reviews. Like Steph is fictional. Her reviews are phenomenal of books. I love watching her reviews because she tells you so much about the book. And I'm going, I talk really fast. Why can't I get that much out in a review? But I think the big thing is just being yourself. I think when people can tell that you're trying too hard, that that it just doesn't receive as much interest. But if you're just being yourself, we kind of want to welcome everybody just being who they are. That's the nice thing about BookTok is we want you as you are. So I think that's one of the biggest things I would say is just, if you want to be weird, cool. If you want to have these amazingly concise reviews, cool. Just be you.
if you want to be chaotic, be chaotic.
Yeah. I actually hate doing review videos. I mean, I do them, but the way I do them is very much that I liked it. It's all about how it made me feel, how it's sticking in my brain. We talked about this in the earlier one, and I'd rather them be shorter than longer.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, like, you know, it just, I actually don't watch many book review videos for that reason, because I have to sit for a minute hearing about a book, or 3 minutes now that we have that function, some of us, you know, and it's like, just tell me it's good. Is it good? Does it have fae in it?
Well, and
Is it dark-haired?
I think a lot of times when you give a synopsis of a book, you're giving away too much. I really don't like to tell much about the plot, even nothing, except maybe if there's like a hunky fae or the spice is on, like, is
Or
like, that's
if it's
the kind of stuff
18
I want
plus.
to know.
Yeah, 18 plus.
Yeah. But I don't want to know what to expect at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, when it comes to like, there's a male character that I appreciate, it's like, I appreciate him. You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying.
Just wink.
Yeah,
It's good. Just do it.
it's 18 plus, wink, wink.
Yeah, it's 18 plus, wink, wink.
Exactly.
Well, and I think too, people are so, like, those who have not started filming get really concerned that they don't own a bunch of books or have enough money to buy a bunch of books or anything like that. When I first started in January, I had one shelf filled with books. And it's not necessary. Like libraries,
Mhm.
there's so many different platforms. Like I do have an Audible subscription, but I mostly use like a free app on my phone to listen to books, because it can get expensive. So don't worry if you don't have a ton of books, because there's so many ways to get free books and borrow books. So do those other things and tell us about the books you read.
Yeah.
Libby is one of them, a library app that a lot of libraries are connected with. It's audiobooks, it's ebooks, and it's right on your phone or your tablet or what have you. I mean, and it's a great way. Do research, find out what your public library is, or a public library near you.
Another one.
Library, what access they have to online stuff.
Or little free libraries. We have two in my neighborhood.
Yep, we do too.
Yeah, we've got tons. I live in a country town, and there's a country town. I live in the country.
Yeah, if you Google them, a lot of places will have maps for the little free libraries around your town. And there's a couple near me, which I haven't visited yet, but another app is Scribd. It's an app similar to like Kindle Unlimited, but you can get audiobooks and regular books. They don't always have all of them, but I think that one's like $10 a month. And if you pay for your subscription at one time, it's cheaper, but you get a lot of books that way too, for people that can't kind of afford it. So that's how I'm listening to The Poppy War on audiobook, is through that. Because I feel like it's a little bit cheaper than Audible, because you don't get quite as many books for audio through Audible as you can through this. So I like using that as well. And then all of last year, I was a Kindle Unlimited reader. I virtually only read books on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm also a huge supporter of that. I think it's fantastic if that's what you can afford, especially because a lot of times they run sales. So if you can't afford stuff, that's a great way to get a lot of books. I think I read like 110 books last year from Kindle Unlimited. So
there are also a ton of free books on Amazon. Like you don't even have to have Kindle Unlimited that are actually good books. As well as there are some email subscriptions that you can get from BookBub and different things that will give you updates when an ebook goes on sale or when it's free. Even, I can't remember what I just picked up for free, but I just picked up something like just straight up free on Amazon. I'm not gonna remember it, but yeah, I mean, if you pay attention to some of that stuff or get that stuff coming to your email.
And there are a couple of people. Sorry, go ahead,
Anna. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there are a couple of people on BookTok that constantly will keep you updated with the deals that are going on right now.
I sometimes do. If it's
you do too.
Out there, yep, I'll throw out something. And it's just there are options out there.
Yeah, if you Google like Amazon free books, it'll take you to a page of all of the books that are free for that day, and it changes from day to day. You can get like all these random books for free, and I've actually seen some popular ones, not super popular, but I've seen quite a few good books on there.
Kind of like some mid-grade, mid-level popularity. It's there's been a few times where every once in a while there will be like a Sarah J. Maas for like $3 for the whole series or something. So I mean, you just keep looking out for some of that type of stuff, and it's like, okay,
it doesn't have to be expensive. That's the thing, is people get upset when they see these really fancy bookshelves and they think that in order to be a book talker, you have to be able to sit in front of this big fancy bookshelf, and that's not the case. You can sit wherever you want and just tell me about the book. You can hold up your phone or hold something up with an image, and you can just show them like, hey, here's the sticker. This is what it looks like. It doesn't matter how you go about it. We like to look at the bookshelves, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares. Just come on here and talk about books.
I actually, if I've got a physical copy or if it's ebook or audiobook, it doesn't matter. I make a sticker and I put it in the corner and I just let it sit there. Because me holding something is just not a good idea. It's going to be flinging all over the place. You know, me having to do this to show you my book. No, I'm going to like close my hand and start talking to you. And then it's going to be like flash book, flash book, flash. No. So we just stick it right here or right here actually. And there.
Well, and something I did this last June, I did the indie author takeover, the TBR takeover, and they gave you every book for free.
Yeah.
If you just promise to read at least 3 of those books and leave a review. I mean, it was an amazing event. I loved it. And they're going to do it again in November. So
I was going to say, when is the next one? So everybody knows.
And they are doing sign up now. And it's Nicola.
Yeah.
Or Murad.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the one that actually, you can go through her to do the sign up. And it was so easy to get signed up, so easy to pick. I think they're doing 150 books in the catalog this time. So
wow,
great opportunities to get ARCs and indie author books. And all you have to do is leave a couple of reviews. Free
yeah.
book. It's amazing.
It was great. I even got some paperbacks from it too.
Did ya? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I read some good books through it.
I think the real thing is we got to just do a little, it takes a little bit of effort. I know we talked about this earlier, Anna, just the building relationships and finding those videos and finding those opportunities. If you take a little bit of effort, you're going to find access to books, especially on BookTok.
Yeah, I agree.
So I know that whenever I've found BookTok and I lurked around for a little bit and then I finally found Tina. And but I was really hesitant to start making videos in person, and now I feel a lot more confident about getting on camera because it's different whenever I do these that are pre-recorded because I don't know, I just feel safer for some reason. And there's so much to the app. What's the biggest piece of advice that you know now that you wish you would have known in the beginning, or that you can share with someone who's wanting to get into BookTok that would make their life so much easier? I mean, like, what's your greatest hack tip for TikTok BookTok?
Videos with music trend more.
Mm.
So if you put music underlying, it's going to automatically trend more. And it's always wise if you're talking to turn up the volume for your voice and turn down to probably about a 5 to 10 on the scale they give of the music. And just check it and see. But yes, putting music underlay. It also adds, so music is so powerful. It adds an emotional element to what you're talking about. It can enhance what you're talking about. I mean, there's so many awesome songs out there that can go underneath some of our reviews, especially if it's fairy based. There's music that's very mystical. And I mean, just those type of things. That's one of my biggest, if a video doesn't have music behind it and it's a book review, it's a quick swipe for me. I'm sorry. I love the musical element. It enhances everything.
Well, now every one of my TikToks is going to have music now.
Exactly. Note to self.
Put music.
Well, and I think too, it's so important that we boost everyone's videos that we love, or our book talkers that we love. So interact with everyone. I mean, it's just
a second to hit that share button, and copy link. Just once.
Yeah, I mean, Jen, I'm sorry. I'm going to quickly just say it. Instead of liking videos, I mean, like the video, but instead of liking the videos, if everybody chose to copy link a video of a book talker, he would be trending like crazy. I mean,
battle the algorithm.
Yeah, battle. If you have 50 likes on a video and you also have 50 shares, it's a completely different ballgame for that video.
Comment too. If you like, comment, and hit the copy link, then it's even better because that pushes up the algorithm so more people see it. So I try
Even just
to
a
interact.
heart
Yeah.
or something.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I think interacting with the videos too gets like people seeing you as a book talker. So you're more likely to get interaction with your videos if you're interacting with other people's videos. So don't like just get on there to make your videos and then kind of ignore everybody else's. If you want to be part of the community, you kind of have to interact with the community a little bit and just comment on people's videos, tell them why you liked it, ask them questions. Like that's another great thing you can do. Plus it gives people content ideas if you're asking questions. So that's the other thing that I really like when people ask questions. So things like that I think really help too.
One thing I do wish I would have known a little bit more, and I was on TikTok for like a year before I joined BookTok, but I would follow everyone. That's not necessarily things that I enjoy, and it's becoming to where I'm not seeing my favorite book talkers anymore. So now I wish I could go back. I mean, I still can, but when you're following other content that really has nothing to do with book talk, you're gonna you have the chances of not seeing the people that you want to see all the time. So that is one thing I wish I didn't have 4,000 following already before I joined BookTok. I was a little happy with my following. Yeah.
Even with I have almost 7,000 that I'm following. Majority are book talkers, and so I will say that adds a different type of element of complication, in that it's just impossible for me to like and interact with every book talker that I'm following.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad I'm giving them a follow, and that helps increase them as well. But so I kind of go to my following, and whoever pops up, those first 10 videos get my like, comment, copy, link.
Because you can't spend all day. I mean, you would literally have to spend like half of the day going through the following page to hit everybody. So
it's and then I have people that I just automatically go to when I can.
Right. Check in on y'all.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Yeah.
Or you see that person who liked a few of your videos and you haven't seen them for a while, and it's like, oh, you. Yeah, that definitely happens.
Yep, for sure does.
So a lot of us are also on Instagram or on Facebook or another social media site as well. What do you think is the benefit of how do you see book talk as being different from being, say, Bookstagrammer or being on, I stepped into something.
So I actually, if you don't follow Coleen Hoover, you should definitely follow Coleen Hoover. She's hilarious. Yes. But I saw this thing where she was on Instagram and was watching Justin Baldoni, who was Raphael in Jane the Virgin. He just came out with a book about toxic masculinity, and he was live, and she went to watch his live, and he made her go live on Instagram with him. And she was commenting how she goes, I'm okay right now to go live on TikTok, but I am not Instagram ready to go live on Instagram. And I commented on the post, I said that I kind of feel like Instagram or Bookstagram is like the Target, whereas TikTok is a little bit more like Walmart, where Instagram, you have to have these really pretty pictures and these really well thought out like descriptions and stuff of things, and it has to be just perfectly aligned, and you have to have the flowers and the things, and then there's TikTok where you can be your goofy self and make jokes and talk and be funny, and it's just two very, very different communities. So to me, it kind of cracks me up. I'm like, yep, Instagram is that like Target, you have to dress up to go to Target. You just don't go in with your hair a mess. And, you know,
Gosh.
Walmart, you can be you and show up in your sweatpants and stuff kind of thing. But it kind of cracked me up that she was like, I'm not Instagram ready. I'm TikTok ready, but I am not Instagram ready. And it made me laugh so much.
People on TikTok, like people at Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just very different. I feel like TikTok, you can really be more yourself and more goofy.
Laid back.
Yes, very much more laid back. And I mean, there's the people on Instagram are incredible. Like their creativity is off the charts that they can do these like crazy posts that are so beautiful. It's just incredible. So I think it's funny.
I just don't have the time to type as much as they all type. I mean, like if I do a post, it's basically my TikTok post plus the book cover, because I'm just so creative over there. And I say like 2 sentences about how awesome the book was, and I tag the author, and then I do some hashtags. That's it. That's me on Instagram. That's my Bookstagram. But I see these amazing pictures. They're fabulous. And I'm just like, wow, that's beautiful. Not happening. Not happening. I'd much rather do a video. Anna, you and I have talked about this before, that I'd much rather speak in front of people than write a post for people. And I love writing. I love the writing I do, but on a social media site, sorry.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's more personality and connection with BookTok. My best friend is really big on Bookstagram, and she tried to get me into it, and that did not go well. And I love photography, and I still was just like, I don't know what's happening. And I just couldn't make connections with those people like she seemed to be able to. I'm going to plug her. She's the Queen of Midnight on Bookstagram. But I don't know. There was just something different about that. It just, as soon as I got on BookTok, it was so much easier to make connections and like find friends for some reason, just I guess the nature of it, but there just seems to be so much more personality on BookTok.
Yeah, it's just easier to connect. I agree, because I follow a couple of people on Bookstagram, more so because I like seeing their bookshelves, because there are some amazing bookshelves setups on Instagram. But yeah, I don't interact with any of the people that I follow on Bookstagram. I only interact with the people on BookTok. So I agree, very different.
We've never been on Bookstagram.
The only thing about IG, okay, IG's Messenger is far superior.
Yes.
I can share
so much better.
So much. I can voice messages, I can share photos, I can all kinds of
Yeah.
The lack of sharing photos is quite detrimental to BookTok. We need to be able to do that.
Yeah,
TikTok,
I
if
agree.
you are listening, we need better functionality in Messenger, in the DMs. I would love to be able to use emojis or GIFs, or send a video or send a picture or something like that. Or a voice message. Yeah.
Type, you know, I mean, I've got several people that I talk to. I'm friends with them on TikTok. I message them on Instagram because conversations are so in depth that I need the voice, because there's no way I'm typing all that shit out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when you just share your. That's why Dina and I ended up just sharing each other's number.
Hey, can I have your
we're
phone
like, can we text instead or call each other, because this is getting too intense to type out.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, real quick though, please, nobody start messaging me for my phone number.
Yeah, no. You have to be my friend first.
Stuff too.
You gotta have a good relationship with me first, please.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use Discord. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm hardly on a computer. Like, this is like the first time in months I've been on a computer, because I'm with my son all the time. So I'm on my phone, but I don't have time to like Discord and TikTok. I can't keep up. I don't know how
Yeah.
people do it.
Discord is
all of them.
insane. Like Discord is insane. It's
I
like
can't get it. Like I can't figure it out. And I feel bad because all like the kind Valkyries, I love those people. I love all
they're
of them.
beautiful people. I'm in that one
Wonderful.
too.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, Discord, I still haven't even gotten really the hang of it because there's so many different like categories and and I'm like, I don't know, like they're all lighting up and I'm like, well, which one is doing what and which one do I need to be in and which one applies to me? And
Yeah.
so I get
Topic-
a little
Topic
confused.
hashtags. Yeah, topic hashtags. And under
Yeah.
each topic hashtag is a conversation.
Yes,
and it's
yes. Yeah. So, and then it gets to be like this huge thing and then you're like utterly confused like I am. So,
Oh, and
Yeah.
you've got like 80 people in the group too, and every person comments. It's like,
Yeah, and it's like you have to catch up on 50 messages and then you hit to catch up, but then there's like 50 more on top of that, and then
Yeah.
50 more. And I was like, oh, I'll see you guys on BookTok.
Yeah.
wave at me.
Yeah, hi.
Just me just saying hey, and I'm gone.
I have done that multiple times. But the wonderful thing about it too on the Discord is they do those buddy reads a lot of times, and I can sometimes sneak in on one of those and buddy read with everyone. But yeah.
Yeah, I have a Discord server if anybody wants to join. It's actually pretty quiet because it's a smaller one. So we're able to actually like get to know each other and actually talk about things that we like instead of just having like 600 messages when we come home. And we've started doing buddy reads, which I really like. We're doing like one book a month that we pick.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I've really enjoyed it, except there has been some drama on the Discords and I'm not here for that. So, you know, but there's good and bad side to everything. But I really like how you can like separate all the conversations on Discord. So.
It does make it nice. Yeah.
well, before we wrap up, does anyone want to say maybe, I guess, what would be your favorite read so far of 2021? Let's do that one. Like overall, or at least top 3. How about
do
that?
genre.
Is that
Like
either?
Based on genre.
Oh my gosh, Dina.
Don't do that to me.
You don't have to follow suit. I'm just, trying to think of like how I would frame this.
Well, I have two. Okay, one I got in preparation. The Mistkeeper's Apprentice by E.S. Barrison. She is an indie author. This book was so good, like so good. I tabbed it, and I have an arc of the second one coming soon, and I'm just in awe of this. And then my other one, I don't have because she's signing them, but Tethered to the Veil by Alexandria Anaboli. I think that's how you say it. Oh, they're so good. Like top tier. Oh my goodness. Allie is the sweetest. Like, oh my goodness. I am literally
On my shelf. I need to read it.
Read it. So good. The third one's going to come out in like December.
Okay.
So they're perfection.
I think for me, there's a couple, but the Air Awakened series by Elise Kova.
I just read the first.
I now have basically every book that she has written. She became an auto-buy author, which that one is on Kindle Unlimited. So check that out. That's one of my absolute favorites. I keep trying to buy any merchandise that I can find from that book series because I absolutely love it. My next one, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I loved this book and The Night Circus by her. Amazing. Such good literary writing. Like, it's perfect. And then the From Blood and Ash series is, I know it's super popular, but that series just has my heart I think I've like bought several special editions of it just because I love it so much. But those are probably my top three.
Dina, you're up.
Okay, so yeah, it's a romance, but it's more drama. And it's absolute. I want to grab it too. It's sitting right over there, but it's Conversion by Misty Walker. It is absolutely a fabulous book. It's probably the last book that made me cry, like literally cry. I'm not talking about tear. I'm talking about I was sobbing. Just fabulous. Just a fabulous story. Trigger warnings, of course. Look at them, read them. That is one thing too. I want to say on BookTok in general, I want to recommend always don't trust a BookToker to remember. You can be diligent yourself and do your research to know whether there's a trigger warning on a book that you might be interested in.
Absolutely.
Kind of a side question off of that.
Yeah.
Do you like giving, so I like to give the announcement, yes, research trigger warnings, but do you like to actually tell what the trigger warning is because of it being a spoiler? I saw this discussion the other day. I don't like to give the exact trigger warning.
Just even naming the triggers itself could be a trigger. So
That's
for
right.
that reason, from a psychological point of view, as a PTSD survivor, I don't think that if I saw that up there, it would automatically make me uncomfortable. That trigger warning would automatically make me uncomfortable. So I think just say
Trigger
please
warning.
research trigger warnings or trigger
That's how
warning
I feel
exclamation point.
I was
Yeah, I would love for it to just be that you just do. You know, you're looking into a book and you check the trigger warnings. You know, for yourself. I feel
your
like
own advocate.
we are people and we can advocate for ourselves. And you know, you can learn that at 12.
Yes.
right.
Yep.
On TikTok and you're 12. I
agree.
TikTok.
Well, and I think for me too, my triggers, because I don't really have that many, I'm lucky in that.
Right.
I don't have a lot of things that trigger me. So I don't look for that in books because I'm not triggered by things really. So I would probably miss a trigger that would be upsetting for somebody else. So I don't want to take responsibility and list all of these triggers because I'm probably going to miss one because to me, it isn't a trigger. So it won't even cross my mind. And I don't want to be responsible for somebody else going into a book and not realizing that a trigger was there because I didn't give them I gave them a list and they thought it was going to be comprehensive and it wasn't. Be your own advocate, research the book yourself if you have triggers, because like I said, to me, what's triggering is going to be completely different for somebody who's a PTSD survivor or somebody who's a survivor from something else. So I think it's up to the person. I do always say to check trigger warnings, especially if it's an 18+ book, or if there's something that's like a very obvious trigger, but I will just say trigger warnings because I don't want to miss something and hurt somebody because they thought I was being comprehensive when I wasn't.
I agree.
I think that's so true. Yeah. So yeah, Conversion by Misty Walker. It's awesome.
I've heard you talk about it before.
Oh gosh, and she knows I love it too. She knows I do. She loves that I love it. It was a hard book for her to write, but she loves it. It was so good. For YA, Legendborn, Tracy Dion. Oh my goodness, why is that not hyped more on BookTok? Please. Oh, it's so just, I can't wait for the second one. It's King Arthur, it's witches, it's awesome stuff. Okay. You're getting a taste of my videos right now if you've never seen them. And then, oh gosh, I love From Blood and Ash. However, honestly, the third one, I got taken away pretty quickly by Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Amazing book.
I've yet to read it, but I've seen it. You have hyped it quite a bit.
dark romance. I just couldn't believe it. I got sucked into that book in the middle of reading The Crown of Gilded Bones, and I finished that before I finished The Crown of Gilded Bones. Because it was just that good. Trigger warnings for that too, 18 plus, but it's fabulous. I've read a lot of other things that were really good too. I loved Akasuf. I think sometimes people have some bad thoughts about Akasuf, but I loved it. It made me love Nesta. I thought the mental health aspects that it addressed too really touched a lot of people. Yeah, myself included. That was another one that I teared up in that one. I didn't flat out cry like I did in Conversion, but good book. I know it's mainstream too, but good book.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite of the series just because of how much mental health there was in it, and I related to some of Nesta's struggles and mental health issues quite a bit. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's fabulous book. I still am a Mist and Fury lover, but
hands down, my one.
God.
So
Wrap
good.
us up, Jen.
And that man, hands in the freaking, I almost said a bad word. Hands in the pockets.
Yeah.
That series is really what got me deep into BookTok. I loved ACOTAR, the whole series. Resand, I named my car Resand. It has a nightfall paint job. So it's like, it has to be Resand. Like, I love him so much. Any dark, morally dark. Oh, yes. I just love him so much. And A Court of Mist and Fury was hands down my favorite book out of that series. And yeah, I'm reading Throne of Glass now, and I'm on the tandem read right now. Just anything SJM writes, I love her. But my absolute favorite book right now is the High Court, the High
Mountain Court.
Oh my gosh. I said it by A.K. Mulford. It's an arc. It comes out on the 10th of August, and it literally did things to me. Like, I cried. It was an epic journey. Like, I just loved it. The romance was so good. So anything A.K. Mulford, I already pre-ordered the hard copy. I got her sign plates. Like, I'm just like,
can we just say too, AK is a sweetheart.
Yes. Yep.
She comments on so many BookTokers things. I mean, yeah,
I love her.
She's another warm person, Anna. Another warm author.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just read like Fortuna
looking at my Goodreads now.
Yeah. Fortuna Sworn's one of my favorite series. By KJ Sutton. I loved that. A Nightmare. That is my favorite like fantasy character, is a nightmare. I love nightmares. And I really liked Flock by Kate Stewart. Oh my God.
I have to read.
I'm on the second book. It's so good.
Exodus, right? Exodus.
Yes. Yeah.
I have the first and second. I have to.
Let's do a buddy read.
Yeah, we should.
Do it. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for it. Let's do it.
So I have to name Covet by Tracy Wolff as well. I am Team Hudson all the way. Each book I think gets better in the Crave series, because the first one was
going. I only read Crave.
Yeah, no. You got to read Crush.
Okay.
Crave is just, it's like high school drama.
I couldn't
find a Crush, and that's when you start to get Hudson has to show up, and then it becomes so much better.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I will read it.
As well as I am going to name Madison Kate for Reverse Harem. For anybody out there who wants Reverse Harem and you haven't read any yet, Madison Kate by T. James. And her new series, I haven't read any of it yet, but it's the Hades series, and it's supposed to be spectacular. So
I've actually heard that one's better than the Madison Kate.
That is what I heard too.
I'm excited to read that one, and I think the next book is coming out fairly soon.
It is. She
Yeah.
is the queen of cliffhangers. Just so you know.
So buy
Yes.
all the books at once.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The other good reverse harem that I'm reading right now is Magic of Discovery. I'll have to check and see what the first book is, by Britt Andrews, but it is a plus size main character. And it's a reverse harem paranormal with witches and mages, and it is so good for paranormal reverse harem. So good. But that one also a cliffhanger. The last book in the series isn't out yet. The fourth book just came out last month. I cried at the end of the book, at the end of the fourth book. So it was incredible. Dina, you will love it.
I will.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like you would love it.
I feel like
so
another
good.
one that has to be named as a standalone, because we haven't named many standalones, but The Shadows Between Us. Trisha
Oh.
I haven't read
Leventhal.
that yet. I have so much to
I have to
read.
name it. There's so much that you could name that's funky about it, but it's also just awesome. I mean, Deanne, right?
Yes, we buddy read that one together,
Yeah.
and
Morally
think I-
gray to the max, but
I read it in 4 hours, I think. I sat down and I could not put that book down. And the new one that she just came out with, Trisha Leventhal, is also an auto buy for me. Blade of Secrets, as far as mental health stuff, the character has social anxiety, which is put out there when she publicized the book. But she has social anxiety. That book, I read it nonstop, start to finish, couldn't put it down, didn't want to eat. I was like, don't talk to me, don't leave me alone. I can't talk to you right now because I have to find out what's
Gina,
gonna
I finished
happen.
it. Gina, I finished it. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like texting her because we were going to do a buddy read, and I'm like, hey, I got it, it's here. And then 4 hours later, Dina, I finished it. Oh my god, you have to read it, it's so good, please read it. I'm like, I need to talk about this right now, so you have to read it. I don't care if you have to stay up all night, read it.
I still haven't read it, by the way.
What are you doing?
I have read 60 books this year. I just realized that.
Yeah.
I'm such a mood reader. I'm so I'm chaotic is what it is. It's all over the place. And
that's why I have like 8 books that I'm reading right now, because one day I'm like, I feel like a book that's gonna make me cry. So then I go for Coleen Hoover books because I know those are gonna make me
read
cry.
my first Coleen Hoover book.
It ends with us. I bawled at the end of that book.
I'm resistant to read it because of that.
It's worth it. It is so worth it. And then I love like a good historical romance. One of the best enemies to lovers you're gonna find is the Bridgerton. The second book in the Bridgerton series is one of the best enemies to lovers I have ever read. It's historical romance. I was laughing my butt off. It was phenomenal. The banter is on point. I can't even tell you how good that book is, but it just depends on the day. Sometimes I'm going, I want something really tame, so I'll pick up a YA book, like a cute little YA romance. And sometimes I'm like, I want to be crushed. Let me pick up a Coleen Hoover book, or I want something with really good magic in it, so I'm going to pick up this series. It just really depends on my mood for the day. Or I've had a really
what you meant by crushed. For a second, I was like, wait, what do you mean by crushed? Because that could be like hardcore dark romance too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Those two. Or I want to read something spicy today, so I pick up, something like a reverse harem. So it really just depends on the day. I'm all over the place with my reading because I'm not going to read Andy Weir, The Martian, when I've had a really long day, because there's too much chemistry in that book, and it takes a lot of thought to read that book. So it just depends on the day as to what I read.
So that's when you read your Ice Planet Barbarians, right?
Exactly. Although I haven't read any of those. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I just haven't picked them up yet because I don't want to go down the blue rabbit hole.
I thought they were going to be so incredibly ridiculous, and they are, but it's so good.
I've only read the first one, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
I'm at.
They're not for everyone, but a 7-foot alien, I think, is for me. Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm all about that, but for whatever reason, I was like, this isn't sucking me in again. And honestly, like I just read Anna Huang's Twisted Games. It's the second book in the Twisted series. And that one definitely like yanked me back in. And I was like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
that male character, he's her bodyguard.
Mm.
Well, thank you guys so much, everybody, for coming on today and talking. I mean, if you guys can't figure it out, this is the community. Book Talk is where the books are, and it's where the recommendations are, and passion for the books and the authors who write them. Thank you guys so much for coming on today and giving the viewers a little bit of insight into what Book Talk is all about, and also some valuable information about some books out there, and some awesome recommendations on who to follow. So guys, if you're interested in follow, I've got the handles down there below. So make sure that you look up and follow everybody that's been on the panel today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we have more upcoming content that you don't want to miss out on. And everybody's just stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Great, bye.
Bye.